my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm! Okay, settle down, everyone.
Oh, I forgot my purse.
Leave it, woman!
Okay, we're trapped. Everyone for himself. Get out of my way. Okay. Remember your exit points. Help!
Well, we've got some interesting news going on right now in terms of Donald Trump. It seems that he's gotten right to work. It's wild seeing so much stuff getting done so quickly. I mean, he took office at noon on Monday, and it feels like more has gotten done in the last 12 hours, I'm sorry, 3 or 4 days, than has gotten done in the last 3 or 4 years. And right now, he's obviously released the JFK files, MLK files. He's pardoned a bunch of people. He's pardoned all the J6 people. He's pardoned Ross Ulbricht. He has, re-secured the border, has begun, targeting, at least from what it looks like, the roughest people who are in America without authorization right now. In particular, criminals and many others are getting caught up, swept up in the net. On top of that, schools are now panicking because they have a bunch of, apparently, students in them that shouldn't be there. I didn't know about that, but apparently we find about that. As well as a lot of Indian folks are quitting their jobs in fear of getting rounded up by these, the ICE people. I don't know that he's very interested in law-abiding citizens right now. I think right now he's just focusing on criminals, but we'll have to wait and see. And before we get into this, huge shout out to Aura, the product that I use proudly. And, I guess all I can really say about Aura is if you think about a time when a company you trusted announced a data breach, it happens all the time, right? Seems like it happens every other week. What went through your mind as you heard the news? You probably wondered how much of your stuff got out there. Consider when National Public Data had their breach. All of our social security numbers, 2.9 billion records hit the internet. I mean, it was absolutely bonkers. That's why I use Aura. And what Aura has is incredible features like a data broker opt-out so you don't get as much spam, identity theft protection, including up to 5 adults getting $1 million in identity theft insurance, financial fraud protection, a VPN, antivirus, password manager, certified data security and privacy, and 24/7 US-based support. You can get all of this stuff at one affordable price. So if you haven't gotten Aura yet, download it and just do the trial. I use it all the time, but because I don't want to leave myself vulnerable and my family member vulnerable to data breaches and brokers. If you don't want to either, go to aura.com/thequarter and try 2 weeks for free. That'll be enough time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data has been exposed, and you can see just how much of it is out there. So check out Aura as soon as you can. Link in the description below. Now, we saw the kind of wild video going on around a particular gang member from Haiti who had this to say, who was getting arrested and yelling at the cameras. And I thought that was kind of weird. I would think that you'd probably want to portray yourself as a law-abiding citizen, but no, I'm not going back to Haiti, he says.
Going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro.
Biden forever.
For everything that he did for me, bro.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery.
It's what the media wants you to think is that they're ripping families apart and that these are all just law-abiding citizens just trying to get by and do their... All I'm seeing is criminals getting arrested. Now, I know you could make the argument, once you cross the border into the United States without permission, you are a criminal, and that is true. But it's obvious that Trump is approaching this with a strategy. He's not taking moms and daughters and who are working, at least not right now. You see migrants seen lining up to board deportation flights as Trump promises more severe consequences for those entering the U.S. illegally. To actually fix this problem and get it back under control, you have to stop the crossings. You have to do that first. because no amount of deporting people will ever keep up with the amount of people that are crossing the border. You stop the flood in, and then you worry about deportation. Now, hopefully he can do both, but I mean, you can see quite a few people here. Deported migrants arriving back in Mexico. It's a lot of people. Everyone's getting caught, he says. I don't recommend to cross. You see that? Isn't that interesting? Like, you just have a little bit of law and order, and suddenly you're like, oh, look at that. Everyone's getting caught. I don't recommend. There's a lot of migra immigration, I imagine that means. I mean, and of course, Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, issued a savage 5-word response to the furious Haitian migrant who was refusing to leave. And I mean, again, by the way, this guy is a self-described gang member and criminal.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with...
They've arrested 460 migrants on day one of the Trump administration. In order to get this back under control, it's going to have to be 4,600 per day. You know, 5,000 to 10,000 a day are going to have to get arrested and deported.
17 criminal convictions in recent years.
So he was allowed to be in this country even though he had 17 convictions.
You feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
Thank Obama for everything he did for me.
What about the people who are the
Joe
victims?
Biden. Let's talk to America's border czar, who might not share those same sentiments. Tom Homan on all of this. First, Tom, when you see that video, I'm curious, what do you think?
Well, he's wrong. He's going back to Haiti. I can tell him that.
I mean,
so everybody knows, yeah, I'm not going to.
He's going back. Footage of the Haitian migrant resisting his deportation made the rounds on social media. He has a lengthy criminal record. Of course, ICE officers in Boston say they arrested multiple MS-13 gang members in Boston raids with Patricia Hyde, ICE Boston acting director, telling Fox News today was a good day. We took several significant public safety threats out of our communities. I mean, you needed to remove thousands. I would honestly prefer the good, if you're in good standing with the law, if you haven't broken the law since you've been here, you're working and paying taxes, I would be fine if they got to get some different kind of treatment, like a different path to citizenship. I'm more concerned with stopping the flood in and getting the criminals out. Now, what percentage of all these people are criminals? Well, you might say 100% because they crossed the border, and that might be fair. But the fact of the matter is, let's start by getting rid of all these people who are taking over apartment complexes like they are in Colorado, that are bringing over, drugs and all sorts of other stuff. Hyde continued his remarks. Unfortunately, a lot were released by sanctuary policies. We're here to tell the Commonwealth and the rest of the country that we're going to find them, whether they're released or not. During the roundups, ICE also made one collateral arrest of an undocumented migrant, which Homan had previously warned would be part of the ICE roundups for after President Trump. When we find the bad guy, there's probably others that are in the United States illegally. They may not be a criminal priority, but we're not walking away from them. So if there are other illegals hanging out with them, that's what happens. You're going to get arrested too, and you're going to get deported, and I'm fine with that. He's grateful for Biden letting him come here. I'm glad we're deporting him. Do you agree you wouldn't want him as your neighbor? Boston ICE raids come as Denver Democrat-run Sanctuary City announced that it will cooperate with Trump administration's plans for undocumented migrants. Denver Mayor Mike Johnson said the city will cooperate with ICE in cases of aggressive criminals. And that's obviously who they're trying to round up right now. They're not the people who are running a food truck and trying to, whatever. They're going after the bad guys right now who have been repeatedly given sanctuary by woke cities and Democrat leadership. So, ultimately, once you get rid of all the bad guys, then we can talk about everyone else. Stop the border, get rid of all the bad guys, and then give everyone who's here legally a chance to just opt out to go home by themselves without getting ripped, out by ICE and all this kind of stuff. The whole state. And by the way, all these woke cities that have said, "Oh, we're gonna fight this," they're not. They can't fight it. This is a federal agency. If they want to get their federal funds, they're not going to fight it. They're all going to say this stuff for clout on Twitter, but it's not going to matter. Indian students quitting part-time jobs in the U.S. over deportation threats. I thought it would be a comfortable arrangement. I quit last week after hearing that immigration authorities might crack down on unauthorized work. Oh, so you're breaking the law. What do you mean you're quitting your part-time job? You're breaking the law. By the way, so is the person who hired you. I can't take any chances, especially after borrowing $50,000 to study here. He said several Indian students used to work at restaurants, gas stations, retail stores to cover rent, groceries, and other living expenses. However, amid fears that the Trump administration would tighten its noose on immigration, the students don't want any risk. Good. People who are citizens should have those jobs. You know, people who are American citizens should have those jobs. Now, if Trump wants to give you citizenship after you graduate, that's up to him. Schools bracing for immigration arrest, trying to reassure terrified parents. I don't understand this mindset. You came to this country illegally. You know you're here legally. You know you're not a citizen. Of course you should expect to get, be rounded up. That's what you should expect. I mean, isn't it obvious? To a mother who spoke on condition of anonymity to protect her family is working with Our Voice, a local group helping immigrant families navigate this difficult moment. Well, just don't cross the border legally. She said she is asking family members if they can take charge of her children. Should she be deported? No, your kids have to go too. No more birthright citizenship. No more anchor babies. That's all nonsense. So this is all in full swing. I hope it gets ramped up immensely. I hope more citizens, and by the way, that's everybody. If you immigrated here legally, I hope that you get a job too. And, all that kind of stuff. So these people have to go. You can't immigrate to this country illegally. That's the law. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, subscribe or follow down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.